I've heard rumors that Terraria has a bunch of useful bugs and glitches. Today I'm going to do an experiment and test them to see if they work. The longer video goes, the cooler and more complex bugs will be. The version of the game is the latest, namely 1.4.49. Hopefully the developers didn't release version 1.4.5 before this video. Hoik, walking thing, allows you to move your ass from point A to point B with great speed, twist and twirl bosses as you like, pass through walls and become almost immortal. About immortality later. To do you need to put block through one and in the beginning put a platform, slam on it with hammer turning it into steps, and do not forget to slam on the blocks turning them into triangles. With this thing you can even get into the temple of lizards ahead of time. Someone builds a Hoik in front of the door, but I built it in the wall. The most important thing is long and straight arms, or you risk get stuck in the wall and wait for a half brother to rescue. Dupe monoliths and other stuff with a couple of teleports in the multiplayer. Also walking theme, you can dupe monoliths, fountains, campfires and music boxes. Go into the multiplayer, put the teleporters on top of each other and monolith at the top, break the bottom teleport, monolith hang in the air, and now you can activate and deactivate the monolith by clicking on it and it will be dupe. You can also put on the teleport some statue of a gnome or other object that cannot hang in the air, and by breaking the lower teleporter we will make the objects hang. Some people say that with the help of a step made from the platform and the block you can dupe crystals and Xmas lights. Yes, you can, but only in a single. In the multiplayer nothing works. The design is extremely simple. It's hanging in the air block and through one block from him on the right or left platform converted into a step. And all we need to do is just put crystal or lights on the block. The next walking bug is duping items from the inventory, which you put in the chest. We do it in the multiplayer. Open chest, put items that want to duplicate and press Alt plus F4. Do not wait for any Steam synchronization, re-enter the game. Probably there is no difference single or multiplayer. Go to the world and see that the items remained in the inventory and their copies are in the chest. The next glitch is a flight on a minecart at a great distance. You need to put two rails next to each other and hit them a couple of times with a hammer. Then through one block put a rail and put the second with the help of a smart cursor to get a springboard. The second should be hit with a hammer one time. Jump into GDM and start gaining speed. Do not forget to drink a feeder potion for a more distant flight and put the rail in the gap. At first I doubted the efficiency of this thing, but then I clapped to the hovering island and that's when I realized the fun of this glitch. The next ruffle, Roflanus, ban of projectiles. Long story short, if you shot 1,000 flares or throw 1,000 beach balls, the limit on projectiles in the world will be reached. So neither bosses nor you can shoot, throw shit, swords will stop firing, can spawn servants. You need to spawn them beforehand, and you can use only who attack with physically. A similar thing to the previous trick is the limit of 200 enemies. Somebody say it can be filled and bosses won't summon minions. In short, we need 3 statues. It is a penguin, fish and bear. Joke, rabbit. In peacetime there is a limitation on the spawn these mobs from the statues. But if you turn on the blood moon, then will appear cringe versions, which can be spawned as many as you want, almost, because limits is 200. Further you need to kill one and spawn the boss, which in idea will not spawn his suckers. But maybe I did something wrong with Slime King. You can try it in your game and write in the comments what happened. Around this point more complex bugs and features begin, the operability of which depends on straight hands and good instructions. In multiplayer you can make 2 pylons of the same biome. You need to make a pit 3x2, close it with a block with a hedge above the block at a distance of 2 blocks to hang a block. Close the sand, on the sand put a boulder, and on the boulder with a hanging block to put the pylon we do not need. Replace the block next to the hedge on the sand. Everything disappear. And now put 2 boulders on the top of each other, where they use it to be a hedge and a boulder. Finally put the pylon we need, and now we can put the second one. Let's go back to the beginning, namely to the Hoik, and talk about the Immortality machines. The first machine is a 30-meter tall tower that launches us around and deals damage. We must have 20 plus armor, and no items or buffs that disable damage from falling, so we get 1 point of damage. Add to this regen lamp, bonfire, cross, which increase the invisibility frames. This is when after getting damage, character starts flashing, and at this time you don't take damage. And we are almost immortal. You can instead of the cross take a star whale, plus spores, and now it's a FK boss's farm. But it's not really like that. If we have too little health, we can die. There is another variation of the machine. It's probably easier and you can farm slime. The set is similar, just instead of Hoik, here is a box with a statue of a slime, his banner and a fast timer. Also on the floor spilled honey, and sometimes slime drop hearts. But even here, if you are a fool, you can die. The next thing is more of a feature rather than a bug or a glitch, but I want to show it anyway. It turns out the queen bee takes damage from mimics and most likely from other mobs as well. I first tried with one mimic and there was no damage, but several are doing damage. It turns out that with the help of statues, you can quickly kill bee queens. Have you seen the video where the dude is draining the ocean? Today I will show you how to do it in Terraria. For this you need to build a box at the bottom in 1 block height. The water in it should be dried with a sponge or buckets. Then put into this box piles of coins and pour a bucket of lava in the center. After open it and see the miracle. The water begins to evaporate. We have to wait for a while and now we dried up the ocean. Get Zenith through an achievement, a trick or the true. I'm the only one who decided to check it out. I used mod to reset achievements. Now I need to bring the guide to the tree. Go to the crafting menu, take copper short sword, put in the window. Remember the position of the Zenith on the screen by poking there with a finger. Go down the tree without leaving the window. Quickly click on the achievement that appear at the bottom. And now click where the Zenith was at the same time closing the window. Abracadabra, sword in inventory. Now we move on the most complex bugs and glitches that are in Terraria. I was very interested to check the glitch with transmutation of items. This thing allows you to get any or almost any items in the game. Go into multiplayer and build the following kind of construction. The height above the ground is 3 blocks. In the center block, right and left house size 2 blocks for hatches and 2 blocks on the right and left. Put 2 sand on the center block and 2 sand on the hatches from the top. We make the roof as shown in the video. On the sand will stand statues of bust. They need space 3 in height and 2 in width. Lead the wire where the heads of the bust statues will be and lead it to the switch. We put the statues on the right and left. Replace the block next to both hatches with sand. Now smash statues on the bottom and hatch disappear and the sand hangs in the air. Set the statue on the hand in sand. Climb on the platform next to and very quickly put a torch on the left side of the block under your feet and put sandstone on the highest block of sand. Similarly on the other side. First we clean up sand from the ground. Important to first break the sandstone block and then the sand. Remove the torch and put blocks on which we put a door. Leave from the server and wait from 15 seconds to a minute to save everything. Now you can go to single, but I didn't risk and went in multiplayer. When entering I see the floating head of the statue of bust. Now the guide have to use glitch on the example of getting Terra sword from a wooden door. Open the door by hand, tumbler down, RMB click on the buggy in our case crystal corner of the door. It closes. Tumbler up, open the door by hand, tumbler down, RMB on the broken corner. When pointing there is some wall. The door closes turning into nothing. Tumbler up, open the invisible door by hand, tumbler down. Now when pointing at the place where there was a corner of the door appears Terra blade. Break the block under the door and the sword falls out. I did it for a very long time. I think it deserves at least a like. There is a wall table with variations of doors, campfires and lamps. Yes, you can add fires and lamps to the mechanism, at the expense of which you can get different items. I leave a link to the table and to the video of the dude who came up with it. Drill to the center of the earth. Sound and even more looks very promising, but unfortunately mechanism doesn't give me a bonus spins. In human wars and not to the wars of a ludomaniac, shit doesn't work. Whatever you poke, what not to put, any wires connected well does not work, and that's it. In short, when you press the second switch, open door make hole in floor and transform in black hole. If you connect a wire to it and start clicking the switch, we should get a drill to the bottom. I may have done something wrong or it have been fixed. Check and write in the comments. Maybe I run stream somewhere on Twitch or Kick and try to make it work, so subscribe. The next topic is the ability to infinitely destroy altars and pollute the entire world with ore. And again my system failed and the mechanism did not work. Or rather it worked, but I got a completely different result. The design is similar to the drill to the center of the earth. At the first attempt the statue of Bust decided to stay in the air. I do not know why so. In short, you need to put a bonfire in place of the disappeared statue and 3 times click the switch. The bonfire should disappear and there should be an opportunity to click on its corner, and each click should be equal to a broken altar. I have a bonfire just disappeared. I leave and went into multiplayer and solved the following: twice bugged crimson and corruption bonfire. When I clicked on it, they jumped into my pocket. What was that? I have no idea, but it looks like I discovered a new glitch. God chest. Have you ever heard of this? These are 2 broken chests that can be get by transmutation from the meteor and Martian door. The effect of this chest is very strange. When you put cursor on it, the character freezes and all accessories disappears. You can't attack. If you were not wearing wings, they will appear. In this state you only take damage from projectiles and special attacks, such as the Slime Queen powerful jump, but you can combo God chest with 1000 flares or 1000 beach balls, which will set a ban on projectiles. You will only be able to attack with accessories like Spore or Riding Slime. In addition to the God chest, there is an infinity glitch speed. You can climb on a mountain that increases your speed, take a dueling spear that does increase damage at high speed, and wear an accessory that shoves speed, and after you successfully jump on a chest, you will see how the speed grows. But I did not get a significant damage to the bosses this way. Perhaps the bug is fixed. Again, I suggest you check it. I've seen videos of dudes casting several rods at once, and you need to do it while riding in the Hoik. I tried to do it, but didn't work. Most likely it is a mod, because I saw similar in the Steam workshop. Oh, didn't realize this video would have 5 A4 sheets of script. Here I checked all the bugs and glitches in Terraria 1449. Almost all of them turned out to work. Be sure to write in the comments which of the glitches is your favorite. Subscribe and put a like. Links that may interest you are in description. Support me on Boosty, Slavic version of Patreon, or just donate. If there will be donators or boosters, you will be in the credits to the video. Good luck to everyone and goodbye.